And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to oh my god. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Fight Group Cup number 10 playoffs. Oh my god, of course, it's like VIP. We just wrapped up with our upper bracket quarterfinals, and now we have returned with our semi-finals. Also, a big shout out to System in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome to the playoffs of the Fight Group Cup. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and I do apologize for the downtime. Again, we were waiting for Shameless versus GG Machine to finish up their game. It was a 20-minute long game. It was an insane back and forth, I'm sure, as they got into the late game. In the end, Shameless did win the series 2-0. That means we have a next series. It's going to be a ZvP between Wayne and Shameless. The winner of this series will advance on to the upper bracket finals, where Strange is waiting for the winner of that match. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the yellow Zerg player, the yellow Zerg player himself. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we are jumping into our fresh best of 3. As a reminder, these are best of 3s. Up next, after this round, that's when the best of 5s are going to be hitting hard and hitting strong. We will get there. Until then, we're going to be calming things down. Hatch, gas pool, standard opener out of Wayne. Likewise, a gate expand into Cybercore out of Shameless. Of course, welcome one and all to Maganatha. Maganatha is the largest map in the map pool. You don't get larger than Maganatha. Longer rush distance by ground. Does take longer to get across the map. As a result, we do see longer and later games. I will say that from my experience covering Wayne and Shameless, Wayne typically thrives in the early to mid game. He's a little more aggressive, a little more cheesy at times. Speaking of, does go for a hatch block across the map, will delay the economy of his opponent. And again, Wayne does thrive in a smaller or shorter game. Meanwhile, Shameless, we've covered him plenty of times in a longer game state. If we can get into the late game, if we can get into maxed out armies, that is where Shameless can thrive instead. So coming into Maganatha, I do favor Wayne's position. I do favor Shameless's position here when it comes to trying to be more defensive and turtle up and build up in towards a longer game. I feel like the pressure is going to be on Wayne to try to end the game earlier, to try to be more aggressive, more assertive, and try to find some damage early on. Go. There's the shoutouts. Beautiful. As we have our initial openers, of course, Shameless can now expand. Shameless was forced to make a Zealot, so damage was done. The base is delayed, forced to make out a Zealot as well. So Wayne just forcing some inefficiencies out of Shameless. And we'll see what more he can get done. The initial Zealot is going to be forcing out Zerglings from Wayne, so we'll delay some of the droning. Zealot is moving in, so is the Adept. Behind the Stargate opener out of Shameless. Does open Stargate. Lings, they do get a surround, not bad. Okay, does surround, Zealot barely does not. Oh, actually does get away. Not bad. I say that more Zerglings are going to be slipping in. The Zealot finally does fall. But the Adept should shade away. Should and will. Does shade away. That was 1 Zealot for 6 Zerglings, so not a bad trade from from Shameless. But of course, bearing in mind that Shameless would have to delay his CC or delay his Nexus as a result. So much later expansion. Later setup. Oracle is going to be on the way. And later Oracle, later third base. Everything is just slightly off when it comes to the timing, just because of the opener. And Shameless will expand. He does not throw down early tech. Meanwhile, Eva Chamber first out of Wayne. This does feel like plus on melee into Ling Hydra production. This could be to tech further in towards Lurkers, or we could just double down and go for a 3-base all-in. Assuming that this is melee, we'll keep an eye on Wayne. As Eva Chamber is done, third base is being taken. Second Oracle's in production. The first one has arrived. Yep, there you go. Melee is on the way. Oh! And Wayne, he will deflect. Wayne will deflect. Again, typically when we go into boss on melee this quickly, it typically indicates that we're not going to be going into Roach production. It means that we're going to be relying on these Zerglings to support the Hydra-based army. I say Hydra-based army, technically this can lead into mutas, but it's quite risky to do so. Oracles, they got one so far. Just one droid. Likewise, ooh, okay, would you have a faster forge? A much faster forge here out of Shameless into a delayed Twilight Council. Interesting. With the delayed Twilight Council, are we going to charge? This could be +1 in charge out of Shameless instead. We have our 5 adepts trading in. These have vanilla adepts. So standard move out timing. We'll threaten the shade. Lings should be keeping up. And they are. Yeah, they punish the shade. They come in for this round. Oracles, they come in to support. Not bad. Cleaning up the Zerglings. Catching out of one of the queens. Did I say one? Going for the other. The second queen goes down. But the adepts are cleaned up. Without Wayne does hold. Wayne is holding. It's going to be Blink on the way, not charge. This is an interesting choice just because we did prioritize +1, and this means that Blink is going to be much, much later as a result. Much later. Now taking up in the Temple Archives. From this moment, we could switch into either Colossus or Storm. We've made our decision here. It is going to be for Storm initially. Going into high tempo production. Sorry, just searching. Oh. Just remember to stretch. But a nice pickoff. Decent pickoff there, catching a Stalker, pulling away. Again, Wayne just stabilizing here and getting up to 75 workers. A decent drone count. But what we're waiting for here is, do we go for an infestation pit? Now, if we see a pit, if we see more drones, then of course that means that we're taking up into Hive and taking up into Lurkers. But for the time being, I see purely Ling Hydra. And limited saturation here at the 4th. The Oracles, they confirm. They confirm the lack of saturation. Likewise, we have the 5th base on the way, and Wayne, he's just amassing it. He's just massing up his Ling Hydra. He's getting ready for his push. Shameless getting ready. Storm will be a part of the defense. Stage drops on the way. We're lacking shield barriers and cannons, though. Some of them are coming, but it's going to be a tough hold. Wayne, he is pushing. Storm's coming in. The High Templar are exposed. Losing one High Templar. Almost the other. Again, Shameless out of position. Again, he cannot waste those storms. Yeah, storms are coming in. Better storms here on the Hydras. And much better storms. Shameless is holding on, but now we're down to 0 storms. You know what? There's that Lurker Den. There's an infestation as well. Taking up. Yeah, likewise, 9 expansion, trying to catch up. The Archon does get it. Archon goes down, not bad. Where are the storms? Get one storm towards the end. Shameless, he's holding, but without extra storms, I am concerned. There's storm on the Hydras. Zerglings, they commit in. There's no more Archons. Shameless, he's in trouble, and it looks like Wayne, he's barely breaking through. This was, again, very committed here from Wayne. Was committed. Takes down so many stalkers. That's how many? That was 14 stalkers going down in total. It's crazy damage. And now finally, Wayne, he's droning. You can see that 10, 11 drones are on the way. Hive is on the way as well, working towards lurker tech. So Wayne is now working on the next step, now taking gases to afford the lurkers. Hive is on the way. Now the question becomes, did Wayne do enough damage? Like right now, Wayne, he's droning, now he's taking, now he's building up towards a later game state. Wayne, he was able to kill a lot of stalkers, which was good. He killed a lot of High Templar and Archons, but the economy was untouched. He killed 4 probes. Like the economy was untouched outside of the delayed 4. No major economic damage. Storms able to zone. Ooh, another storm as well. But alas, there's just barely enough Protoss here. We need extra Warpins. Warpins just now finishing up. The Immortals, they cannot close the distance. And Wayne, he's finally getting some economic damage. He's listening to the bases. Oh, nice target firing. Wayne, he might still. Yeah, he has too much. He has too much here. He's got 3 lurkers. Fighting so much damage. 4 lurkers even. As Wayne, he holds his own, and finally, after pushing for the past 2-3 minutes, he has broken the base. GG gets called, and Wayne, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Does take the first game. Again, Wayne, he committed, he doubled down. Now, as a reminder, after the first attack, he did back off and drone. He was droning up, he was taking up as well. He had the lurker den on the way. He was getting ready for those lurker upgrades as well. But didn't quite need them in the end. In the end, he was able to strike, able to break through. Again, it was a messy defense there by Shameless. He barely didn't really have the High Templar he needed. Likewise, some of the storms were solid, but he was also bleeding a High Templar early on. And as he was losing High Templar, no more storms. No more storms remaining. Without storms, GG. GG well played. Wayne does take the game. And now we're getting into game number 2. Go. So jumping into game 2. And from here we're getting into game 2. Again, Shameless, he barely wasn't able to stabilize. As you mentioned before, like, this is what we expect between these 2 players, where Wayne is going to be the aggressor. His goal here is to try to break Wayne early on and try to break the base setup. Meanwhile, it's going to be up to Shameless to survive that aggression, to survive, to defend, to deflect, and to get into a longer game state. That's we'll see if we can get there. Up next, oh, that's, I mean, Maganatha would have been the map for it is the problem. That would have been the map to try to get into a longer game, but now we're loading into Torches, now a much more aggressive map in the map pool. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Torches, we have the yellow Zerg player, himself, leading the series 1-0. Oh, hello, going for the 12 pool. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, representing Little Fairy down in the series. We'll see if he can recover, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Shameless. Here we go. And again, Torches has a shorter rush distance by air and by ground as well. Has a very large ramp coming into the expansion. And Wayne is going to commit with his 12 pool. Now, as a reminder, 12 pools, they're not necessarily all in. The probe is in position to delay the expansion. And Wayne, he will move out with his first drone. With this, he can block across the map. Can block. Shameless still on patrol. we go. Hatchery is being thrown down, and now this hatchery placement will disrupt the wall. This will make it easier here for the Lings to engage with the wall itself, with some of the production, with the gateway, with the cyber core. As we go, Lings are moving out. Wayne is committed. He's going to be committed here. We can see Shameless pulling the boys, trying to set up a secondary wall. Cybercore looking quite exposed as well. There's that first Zealot. Lings, very nice service area in the gateway. The gateway is exposed. The gateway is going to be targeted, and that's going to be a kill. I believe we might even cancel the second Zealot. Yeah, it's still going to pop out. It's close, but the second Zealot will not pop. Oh. It just barely takes down the gateway. One gateway left. The wall is open. Wall is open. Wayne behind this is expanding. Doesn't want that Zealot. Takes down the workers. Which is back over. Chasing the Zerglings, chasing the probes into the main. Hatchery does complete. More Lings are on the way, and it's all or nothing here for Wayne. It's going to be a short one. He wants this around. He wants the Adept. He wants it. Does want the Adept. Going for the pylon as well. And it looks like the gateway is going to be depowered. GG gets called as there is just nothing left to work with. Shameless overwhelmed, overpowered, and Wayne will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A shorter series here between Wayne and Shameless. Again, I was hoping for something to get into a little bit more here, but Wayne, he was able to be very cheeky with this 12 pool. Very brutal position with the hatchery as well to make sure that the gateway was exposed and the gateway was out in the open. And with that, the kill move was to just depower everything towards the end. Just had no reinforcements, had no warp ins. GG. GG, well played. In the end, Wayne, he will claim it. A bit of a faster series, but I also expect a fast one the next one. Up next, we do have Wayne advancing on a face-off against Strange. Now again, Shameless, he's a really good player. Shameless is a really solid player. I don't think that series really did Shameless justice. Shameless, where he thrives in though, is a longer game. There's a reason why Wayne did everything he could to make sure that Shameless couldn't get into a longer game state. We have seen Shameless dominate Wayne in the past in those longer games. So when he just avoids it, wraps up the game early. GG, well played. Up next, Wayne versus Strange in the upper bracket finals. Oh boy. Our next series is upon us.